Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Like a minute or two early. Hi, good morning, happy Sunday. Welcome to Ben's Brick Designs. I'm Ben. We've already got some people in the chat. Most Marvelous Mox and Brad and Walter. Good afternoon, Walter. Thank you for being here. Today we're building, and Kodiak. Hi, Kodiak. Today we're building a kind of a grail set, if you will. Let me know if you can see and hear everything okay, if the music's okay, if the visuals are okay. I've been wanting to get this set for a while, and it just kind of happened to like fall in between getting a big set here and there, and like the big glut of sets in August that lasted for a couple months of building. So the Aston Martin. So I'm very excited about doing that today. Before we get started, first of all, I'm doing some TikTok videos of the advent calendars. If you guys aren't on TikTok and would like to follow somebody, you can follow me. You can just look up Ben's Brick Designs. They're not great sets, Mandalorian things for the most part. Today's little bit was like 4 targets that I think later you're gonna have a stud shooter thing that shoots at them, and it's okay. It's whatever, you know. So it's a quick build of, putting them together. It takes 30 seconds. The camera's really wobbly, and I'm very sorry. Hopefully I don't know how I can fix that. These monitors. So the camera sits on the monitors, and every time I move the table, it shakes everything. So, I wanted to, if you haven't seen it yet, they announced some more 2020 sets to come out, and it took it over. Dang it. Okay, for a long time. So the hi, anime lover Amit. Thanks. I can smell yours too. New technology. This Logitech camera is just the bee's knees. I'll tell you what. So let me share this real quick. This is the new microfighter for the Razor Crest, and it's terrible. It's really bad. What I liked about this for a little bit is so here's mine in comparison, which still shows up pretty high in Google search, which I'm pretty happy about. So does Josh Build's version of him building mine. Here's the Navarro stand and whatever else. So, I'm really kind of upset about this. I'm only because the Razor Crest was such an iconic new hero ship for Star Wars. Like, this is the next thing. Like, I don't think anything from the sequels really took off like this did. Kylo Ren's shuttles, both versions, Rey's speeder. Nothing really was very new. Like, it was still an X-Wing. They were slightly different, but they were still X-Wings, and they were still TIE fighters. This was kind of a wholly new ship, and they kind of did it dirty. Oh, here's Tread Micro's version, which I think is great because it gives it that chibi look with the giant engines. His is very, very good. Macquarie Designs has another one too. I think this is I forget the designer of this one. They also do a whole lot. Arendelle does this too. I think Kim Young Lee does one. So anyway, all the designers who have done one, I think are better than what Lego actually did. And there's no reason for Legos to be so bad. It's not great, right? I will not share that, anime lover, but I appreciate the sentiment. So anyway, that was kind of a downer. I guess the other big news is that the Battle Pack now brings you a clone pilot that is only also in the UCS gunship. So I think a lot of people who thought they were getting a good anime or a good Clone Wars figure exclusive are now able just to get it in hundreds in the battle pack. So I think there's a lot of people who are whinging about that. So anyway, that's the kind of news that's going on. That's really, yeah, I agree. The mocks are always going to be better than the originals because I feel like the designers who work for Lego are under constraints of having to have certain playabilities, meeting certain build standards, size standards, weight standards. You know, you can see that this has got the new stud shooters in them. That these stud shooters you can't even clip on the front like the old stud shooters, where at least you could put a stud in there, right? And if you wanted to use that as a building thing, you could. This is just, I don't know what it is. So here's the thing. There's this piece right here. There's a version of this without these studs on the front that would have looked really good. Like just a smooth bit. And it's just like, ugh. The engines look gross because they are these exposed Technic round bricks with these holes on the side. They've got these giant Technic bricks to hold them in place there. It's like they weren't even really trying. It was just, you know, and normally I'm not really up or down on microfighters. It's my whole kind of raison d'etre right now. But this is, you know, so I don't try to get on it too much about what's good and what's not. But at the same time, I'm just like, are you guys even really trying? So up until a couple days ago, mine were still very high in the searches, but you can see now that the official set's out, it's going to start pushing these up a little more. So anyway, that's what I want to complain about. Oh, Darth designers. Yeah. So there's a few designers that I know are using old parts. Like I will use an old part, but if I see that it's expensive, I usually will try to find an alternative because it's either it doesn't exist anymore or it's just so rare that it's not worth putting effort into finding it. So anyway, all right, so the reason we're all here, let's do this now. We are going to start building. So today's build is, of course, the Aston Martin MB5 or DB5 from James Bond. This has been out for a while and it's retiring this year. Oh, I'm liking that you like my beard. Thank you. I worked really hard on not doing anything while it grew by itself. So I'm very excited about this. It's a very James Bondy car. It's got all kinds of functionalities. It's got like machine guns and ejector seat, and it's just, this is gonna be super fun to build. So I'm very excited, so let's get into it. Also, I want to apologize for not being on Thursday. I thought I would be able to cram some time into the events of Thursday, but I just ran out of time. There was a going away party for a coworker, and then I was meeting some other people for drinks later. And I thought, well, I'll get home by 9 and I'll do a late stream. And it just didn't work out like that. So here's the instructions, and it looks like this is very cool. It looks like it's from it's a dossier, confidential. That's super cool. I really like that. If you guys haven't, look up the MI6 building or the SIS building. It needs to be... Hey, Bubba Bricks. Yeah, long time no see. How's it going? I appreciate you being here. It's a very, very cool building. Look it up. Oh, well, here. I'll do it right now. Just real quick. MI6. You just have to do MI6 and do images. Look at this guy. That is an awesome building. I mean, this needs to be a architecture set like yesterday. Look how cool that is. Like, for no reason, out of nowhere, it's just like a really cool building. I don't even know this is like fortress architecture. It's got like these weird, kind of, not turret, but what's the word? The round partitions of a castle. It's got like 3 of those. I mean, it just looks like an old castle. It's really cool. So if you can look that up, do a mock. I'm sure somebody's done, I think I saw like a small Lego version of this. Yeah. So, I mean, it's really a cool building. I was really shocked because I was doing some research on what to do as a background for the thumbnail. And I just typed in MI6 and that image came up. I'm like, wow, that's super cool. All right. So it doesn't look like there's actually too many bags. This is going to be the smaller of the car sets. Apologize for the crinkling. Turret, thank you. God, my brain just was like, no, you may not have that word today. 2, 4, 1. Yeah, this is just, we could almost do this today. Let's just do the whole thing today. It's 4 bags. That can't be right. Yeah. So it's just of the smaller of the cars. 3, 3, 3. Let's see if we can do this all today. What do you say? It'd probably still take a few hours, but let's do it. So the instructions. All right, so this is cool. Burn after reading kind of thing. Hi, Toaster. How are you? Thanks for being here. Happy Sunday. So did you guys take advantage of any VIP day stuff? I don't think I've been on since I did that, or since they did that. I will be putting some stickers on this because this is going to be a keeper set. It'll go with my car shelf. I just think that is... That's a really kind of sexy instruction booklet, right? That's a lot of fun. I'm really most impressed so far with this because it's just very creative. You know, whoever did this was not working on the Razor Crest Microfighter, that's for sure. For your eyes only, this car building replica of the Aston Martin DB5 with modifications. Pay attention, please require your individual attention. Oh, and it's got redacted stuff. I think that's funny. Yeah, military intelligence, MI6, Division Q branch. Super fun. I got the car in the few Xmas sets. I haven't got any Xmas sets yet. I was at Target getting like some odds and ends, and I saw that all the clothes were out, the Lego line, Lego Life stuff. And there was also, so there was like some puzzles and the clothing line. I think I saw a plush or 2. I almost got some stuff. So that's a famous picture of Sean Connery, and there's one with Pierce Brosnan. Is that Pierce Brosnan? Yes. So I think this car was mostly in Goldfinger and Goldeneye. I don't think it was in any of the other ones. And the ones that are in those movies are actually not DB5s. They're like just kind of slightly modified from that actual model. And this is obviously not as sleek as the actual model. It's a little chunkier. Again, this set's a couple years old, so some of the instructions may look a little dated, but I think this is gonna be fun. So let's do this. Yeah, so I saw there was a wreath and they had the Christmas sets all ready to go there. See if I can work this here where the microphone is a little just out of range. Dog is asleep. Let's go. Yeah, that's very true, Walter. Somebody's like, oh crap, we're supposed to have this launched. And you know what's frustrating about that? That probably is not far from the truth. That they're like, it's the microfighters. Let's let some new people work on it or something. And like most of their designs. They aren't, you know, they have to go in-house. This is going to be rubber bands, right? So it's not like they can go, oh, you know what? I've seen some really great mocks. Maybe we should approach the people who've done these mocks and see if we can pay them a cut and use their design. So I got some rubber bands there. There's no way they would ever do that. Honestly, I feel like mine, out of all the other ones that are out there, is probably more along the lines of what an actual set would look like. Like, Trending Bricks is really cool. Oh, crap. But I think his is a little heavy on the piece count and a little heavy on the, well, scheisse. A little heavy on the specialized piece count. So, and I don't remember what Macquarie's looked like. I need to invest in a ridged table. All right. Yeah, I couldn't find the classic shirt. So the thing that bothered me is I got there and right off the bat there's like women's clothes and kids' clothes kind of like right here, and there's a whole huge stack of sets and clothes, and it was all kids' sizes. So I was like, all right, well maybe the men's section has some. And I get to the men's section, and it's of course the suburban sadness of brown and blue that is the men's clothing section at Target. So I was like, I really wanted that yellow jacket with like the Lego pattern on the inside, that puffy jacket, but I don't think they make it for adults. I think it's just a kids only thing. So all right, anime person, I'm giving you a timeout. Because while this isn't really meant as a non-child channel, I don't really want that going on in my world at this time. So we can talk regular about Lego and Star Wars, or we can say goodnight, and thanks for coming and visiting. Yeah, they do have more online than they had in the store. I was just kind of hoping they would have a little more for like adults. I'm not sure where this step goes. Oh, what happened to the music? Oh, it's just a long outro. ×2, okay. So may not get through this all today. I'm realizing I'm probably setting myself up for a 3-hour stream, but we'll see. Oh, this is cool. These are kind of rare. These 2-hole lift arms or beams or whatever. You get the one that's got the Technic axle on one side, but not the one with the 2. These make great thrusters on the backs of things because you can kind of go like that and put, you know, on the back end and put some trans blue stuff on them. They're very cool pieces. They don't come in a whole lot of colors, and they're kind of rare. So if you find one, good on you. And then... yeah, I was there to do a really weird bit of shopping. I had to get a belt, a box fan, and 2 Lego sets because we've got a holiday party coming up for our lug, and I needed to get a donation for the I think they're doing the Memorial Hospital or a Dell Children's Hospital, and then or a Fairy Bricks maybe, and then Dirty Santa or Dirty Brickster or whatever they call it. So had to get a couple sets. And while I'm there, I'm like, oh, I want to get this. Ooh, I want to get this. They had like a bunch of clearance on some creator sets. And I should have got some, but at the same time, I'm like, I can't be spending a whole lot of money right now. Not for a while anyway. This time in February, I might be able to start buying some more stuff, but I also have a trip to pay for, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Did you guys see the frame snafu with the AT-AT, the UCS AT-AT, where there's an instruction in there, and I don't know how many of you guys have built the AT-AT yet. Apparently there's this, you put this together and it will never come apart without like a certain tool. So it's like this, and then there's a Technic pin with like the bigger end on one side that's like the bushing on the other end, and then you push that in, and then there's another side that's got another axle where you hold the pin connector in there, but it's the flat one, so it pushes in like that. So the only way to take it apart is the pin connector is the one with the slit in it, so you have to get like something sharp to kind of push down and then push that out so you can pull on it. It's not impossible to take apart, but it basically will damage one of the Technic pins or the coupling or the connector. And I'm kind of, everyone's like, it's going to damage the Lego. I'm like, do you not have just a giant bag of Technic pins and bushings and stuff? I'm like, yeah, you're going to ruin a piece that's barely worth a cent. So, and who's going to take these apart anyway? Once you put them together. Yeah, exactly. I've never taken that apart. It's just going to be something I dust forever. That. So, anime lover, I appreciate you being in here and talking as you are, and thank you for the eyeballs and the viewership. I also want to say thank you for the first ever use of any of my Twitch tools on my phone. I've never had to do that, so thank you for that. I was really impressed with how I was able to do that and the tools that they have to offer. Scott, what's up? How you guys doing? Yeah, they'll whinge about anything. All right, it's got to be turned like that for some reason. Guess we'll find out shortly. So Beth is at a bachelorette party this weekend. Her lady friends have taken her to wine country here in Central Texas. So I've had from Friday night till probably later this afternoon by myself, and of course I'm spending it I'm cleaning and I'm setting up. I'm gonna do decorations after this. I'm about a week behind on decorations, but it's been fun. I had some people over last night, sat around the campfire or the fire pit, drank some beer. She's having a good time, just drinking wine and hanging out with her ladies, with her friends. Scott, your underground is coming along real nice. I like the transition that you've got going from like the sewer walls that are like gray and green to like the sand walls, almost like it's kind of on a hill and like it's kind of pushed back a little bit. So there's like a moisture underground at least that's kind of molding some of those walls. It's a lot of fun. If y'all haven't checked that out, you should. Okay. So that goes in like that. Okay. My guess is this is going to be, I don't know what it's going to be. Ejector Seat. Exciting times. Happy holidays. Indeed. Happy holidays to you and yours. So we're all excited about Boba Fett, Book of Boba that's coming out in a couple weeks. I'm trying to think of what else has been happening lately. Oh, did I miss? Yeah, missed a step. Whoopsie. Oh, I missed like a whole step. And then half pin and tile. I badly want to open up the cantina. Oh, you actually waiting to open the cantina? What the what? What did I miss here? Oh, there's a pipe. It goes in there. Then this. All right. Well, that's a ejector seat if I ever saw one. Then that, now this. Hawkeye, yeah, I mean, Hawkeye's out. It's okay, it's not bad. Kind of fun. What's her name's very good. Jeremy Renner is Jeremy Renner. It's kind of like, oh wait. You know, nothing major, really. It's kind of nice to have like a non-galactic threat level show. It's just, you know, kind of small time, small town, and it's limited series. It's just this, you know, a little bit before Christmas. It's kind of refreshing, kind of like Ant-Man was like in the middle of all that other stuff. Like, yeah, small time stuff. Everything doesn't need to be the end of the world. Okay, 11. Why does that seem wrong? Because it is. Yeah, you'll have to build it eventually, but I mean, build it as is so you can get the full experience. And then muck with it a little bit. Oh, don't need that brick separator. Yeah, so that shows out. I also found out that this is coming up on the 20th anniversary of Lord of the Rings, which makes me feel hella old. I took my daughter to it when she was a bebe. She was maybe, so she was, see, May 9th through now, so June, July, August, September, October, November, December. She was 7 months old, and we took her to a theater because we were in Colorado. I went and saw it with my brother. Wow, 20 years, man. Crazy pants. I was actually watching it last night because I didn't want to watch... I had some college football on, and I was getting bored of that, but I couldn't figure out anything to watch on streaming or whatever. Like, I just want something on to kind of have on in the background. And so I was like, let's just put Lord of the Rings on. That's always good. Oh. Wow, slow down, yo. So 4... and then the 3. So that's crazy. New episodes of Star Trek Voyager. Wow, that would be something. Of Star Trek Discovery are out. How's this going here? Does that go all the way in? It does. Okay. I'm still not really sure what to think about Discovery. I know it's been 4 seasons, but I was having this discussion with a friend last night who's about as much of a Trekkie as I am, and he hasn't seen. They haven't watched Discovery yet. They're trying to get through some other stuff first. I think they're trying to finish Voyager. But, so I was kind of whinging about it. Which is not a word I usually use. I usually just say bitching or whining, but... Spider-Man comes out next Friday. I'm gonna try to see it. I know my son's gonna be super hyped about that, so I might try to get tickets to go with him. Excited for The Matrix, honestly, because that's gonna be, I feel like, another sleeper, because they have done like almost zero advertising for it. And if they have, I've just not seen it, or I've been avoiding it, because I'm trying to go in with the same amount of knowledge that I had the first time, which was almost none, because the prequels had just come out. Phantom Menace had just come out, and everyone was like, there's this other little sci-fi movie out called The Matrix. You guys want to go see that? And then we come out going, that was amazing. And then you go see the prequel or Phantom Menace, and you're like, ugh, what happened? I used to like Star Wars. Yeah, that's my only problem, is I know it's going to be... I don't necessarily want to go to a theater, but I don't know if I can wait a whole lot longer to go to a theater. I would go. The other thing is, I don't know if my son would go. He's a little more protective about his COVID-ness than I am. So I may be like, do you want to go to a theater and see it? And he'll be like, no. Like, all right. So I may have to like buy the Miles Morales game as a holdover until we can go see it. Because he's already 100% of the old Spider-Man game. Okay. Times 2. And that's the other thing. If we don't go see it right away, I'm going to have to stay offline for like a year, so I don't get spoilers. Although I don't know how many spoilers there could be. I think the reveal of who the Sinister Six would be a spoiler. We know most of them, but I think there's going to be like a missing one. You know, like a lot of people like, gasp, no. That guy, oh my goodness. What? Oh. I'm like, okay. Didn't see that at all. But I don't think I can wait. Well, okay, so to be fair, I did go see Dune. And I saw Eternals. But I did it at like 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. So I think I might be able to do that same thing where we can kind of go during the week on a weekday. Just see how it plays out. Also want to wait until he's out of school. Does that matter? I hate these pins where they don't tell you which direction to go. You're just like, okay. I didn't not like Eternals. It was a bit long. And it's a very big cast. And I think part of the problem is that because it's such a big cast and they're all kind of important, it felt like nobody was important. I've actually forgotten a little bit about it until now. I felt like Angelina Jolie was kind of phoning in her role. Like, she just didn't seem like she wanted to be there all that much. Yeah, I don't know. The theater space people out, so I don't think it'll be bad. Mine doesn't. They're just big chairs. They're the D theater, whatever, D-Link, D experience things. So they're big chairs, but they don't space anybody out. That might change if things get worse before they get better. Yeah, I mean, I remember some of their names, but I can't remember what my main problem was. Like, it was fine. It was fun. It just felt like, you know, how many more galactic level events are we going to be worried about? They can't all, you know, I did really, really like the way they did the Celestial. That was super cool. Like, I was very impressed with that. It gives me hope for, like, Galactus. If they ever do Galactus again, that they could do something like that, because that was amazing. Yeah, like, so you don't care about the characters, and then they kind of kill a couple of them off, and you're like, oh, okay. That sucks. Was I supposed to kind of care about that? It just didn't feel like, I don't know. But it was fine. I liked Shang-Chi better. Shang-Chi was a lot of fun. It felt like a good old-fashioned Jackie Chan Kung Fu movie. Alright, am I finished there? And then another Technic brick. I hear there's more Star Wars movie-related news. Like, there's another director coming in. I don't know what happened to Taika Waititi. They basically shut down production of the something Rangers. So that's not going to happen now. I think that kind of died the day they let Gina Carano tweet anything. We got a release date for Kenobi, which I haven't seen yet, so if anybody has that, just let me know in the chat. I think that's it. I haven't read any new Star Wars books yet. Nothing new from the High Republic stuff. I feel like I may be a little behind, but I just haven't seen anything yet. Because I'm smack dab in the middle of... Oh, there's another show. Wheel of Time. Who's been watching Wheel of Time? And who's read Wheel of Time? All 118 million books. This is one of the cooler parts of Battlefront. The mall emote. That's not right. I also heard news that Battlefront 3 is no longer going to happen. they kind of abandoned it, so they could do Battlefield, another Battlefield game, which is fine. There was also news, or not news really, but like a report that a lot of people are jumping off of Battlefront 2 to go play Halo Infinite, because they feel like it's a more supported game and it's a lot more fun. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm never gonna. I'll stop playing Battlefront 2 when the servers go down. Can't stop, won't stop. Jumped off the Battlefront 1 a while ago, yeah. I like the universe that Star Wars has built, especially in Battlefront, that I love jumping into that. I love being able to fly an ARC 170 or a Y-Wing or the Millennium Falcon. I think my favorite is getting a really good squad on Hoth for Galactic Assault on the Rebel side, where you're just desperately trying to take down those walkers. And if you get a good squad, you actually can. Like in Battlefront 1, you could do that half the time probably. In Battlefront 2, it just seems like nobody cares. They're just out shooting the people, and there's no objective players anymore. So if you get a squad that's like 100% objective players, or ones that recognize that, we've got to do this to win, so I'm going to help by shooting this guy while you get the objective, kind of thing. Like if you can find that in a group, that's awesome. But that's hard to find. And you can usually tell, like, you get a hit on the walker real quick, and like immediately afterwards there's another hit, and you're like, okay, this is a good group. This is cool. This is going to be fun. Okay, is that all for that step? Yes. Yes. I also miss Battlefront 1. Box Commander, hi, how's it going? Hey, hey, hey. What's up with you? Happy Sunday. Thank you for being on the stream with us. I miss Battlefront 1's planets and layouts. I really feel like I missed a step. Yeah, did I miss something? Oh, that should have 4. Okay. It just goes, just working on a few projects. Nice. Lego projects? What you working on? Building mocks. Putting a city together. Seems to be a big thing. That's something I never really did, was a city. I never collected modulars, so it's kind of hard to justify doing a city from scratch. Oh, I loved Battlefront 1 maps, man. I miss, like, you can only get Bespin now on, like, Blast and Battlefront 2. And it's the admin palace. It's not just like the entire city, but that Walker Assault on the big city, or the control back and forth game mode. That was so much fun. I miss Sullust too. I know people gave Sullust a lot of crap, and they spent a lot of time building those couple maps when they could have done more prequel stuff. But yeah, I miss Sullust. I like the volcanic rock. I like kind of the Walker Assault one on that. Mox mostly Asgardian Studios holding a collab, so I'm trying to... I haven't seen a lot of their stuff lately. I've been kind of slacking on watching other builders on Twitch. And his was like one of the first ones that I would watch too, so... I need to jump back into that. Building something other than a giant robot for the millionth time. I mean, have you seen my microfighters? Let's talk about getting into a rut on mock building. I hear what you're saying. I see you. I missed the first newer rendition of Battlefront 1. The one I played was back on the PlayStation 2, and I played a bit ago. Man, times are simpler then. Oh, okay, yeah, they did. I saw them on the Brick Building Discord, and they were kind of like, hey, I'm back. I haven't been doing a whole lot, but here's, you know, let's jump into it and do this. Whoops. That was a really loud noise. Sorry, RIP your ears. Smacked my ring on the table. So I would try, Kodiak, if you can get a copy of Battlefront 1. I think it still holds up. Like, I think it's still pretty good. I haven't played it in a while. I may download it again just to go through it. But I feel like some of the maps were better, if not the mechanics. The problem is it's kind of a dead server now, so you're just having to kind of wait for people to show up on this server, and it might take a while. And there was like 0 first-person player stuff to go through, so it's all multiplayer. Battlefront 2 at least had some story aspect to it, but it was like 6 hours of gameplay, which isn't a ton. But it was pretty fun. I mean, it told a pretty good story. Decent character. Like, Iden Versio was not a bad character, but a decent character. Kind of an interesting look at a soldier's point of view, right? Rebel or Imperial, it was good to see somebody who wasn't a force user or a smuggler or some kind of high-ranking person. It was just like, nope, I'm just a soldier. Mimi, hi, how are you? Thanks for being on the stream. Yeah. That was actually kind of the best part of like the first, or the early on in the story, where they're on the ground trying to take out insurgents or whatever on Endor, and they look up and the Death Star explodes, and you're like, what do we do now, you know? I'm building this, Mimi. This is what we're building. Oh, it's not even on the front. Where's the box? Building this. Building the Aston Martin. What are you up to? Other than consistent Pokemon gifts, which I thank you for. So I did like the, so some of what was in the Battlefront story as well showed up in, I think it was Aftermath. No, it's Alphabet Squadron. That weird messenger that had like, it was like a robot with a cloak and a shield face that had the Emperor's face in it and pre-programmed whatever. That shows up in one of the books later, which is really cool. I really like that it was a little more integrated than just a one-off game. Ooh, the camper van. Nice. That's a fun one. It's a little fiddly to the end, so be patient with it, because there's some stuff at the end that are kind of like, you smash it on and you're like, is that right? You know, it feels like it might be right, but it also feels like it might fall apart. But it's very pretty. It's a lot of fun doing the inside stuff. And it comes with 2 really good new pieces that I stole already. Like I ripped them right out. And I'm like, nope, I'm using these. So I'm gonna have to get some from Lug Bulk or something later, or Bricks and Pieces. Oh, the Home Alone house. So Beth got on me about this. I was never a fan of the movie Home Alone. Like I don't even remember seeing it when I was, because it came out when I was, I was in college, and I think I was of the age where I wasn't. Oh, and I'm gonna get an extra one of these silver, metallic silver connectors. That's awesome, because it only calls for 2, and there's another one right there, so that's gravy. So I told her one day, I was like, I don't think I've ever actually seen Home Alone, and she's like, what? Everybody's seen Home Alone. I'm like, I haven't. I don't care. So we watched it one year because I was like, all right, you watch. There's a movie called Rare Exports. That's a really funky Scandinavian Christmas movie. It's totally worth it. You should watch it. It's really weird. I was like, you watch that and I'll watch Home Alone. So we did. We traded. And I have to say, I think I came out on top. I think my movie was a lot better. Or she came out on top. Home Alone is just, it's... whatever. The set looked really cool. I don't mean to dig on the set, because the set looks like a lot of fun. In Portugal, we know when Christmas is coming, starts a holiday season. Home Alone movies. I know when it's Christmas when the day after Thanksgiving, my neighborhood's chock full of decorations. Okay, that just sits there. That can't be right. Has to go farther back than that. I am missing something. This has to sit right here, but there's this bar in the way. Unless that's wrong. All right, so let me go back. That's there. Did I do this wrong? Okay, like that. That's right. And then this just says it goes like that. But there's this in the way. I have a feeling this went on. Nope, there's no hole in that. There's no gap. How to do Chekhov's gun in writing. Yeah, that's very true. I just use this time of year as an excuse to watch Christmas Story over and over again, and I think Beth gets a little tired of it. All right, I am missing something. What am I missing? That's what I'm missing. That shouldn't go there at all. That should go here. There we go. I was like, there's just something really basic about what's happening here. Okay, it just sits there. So that's going to be covered with something, I'm sure. My over and over again movie is White Christmas with Bing Crosby. Aww. I love Bing Crosby. I love Danny Kaye, too. God, I love Danny Kaye. It's just so funny to watch because, you know, the new movies are hilarious and whatever. But sometimes you go back to watching stuff with, like, Bing Crosby and Dean Martin and stuff, and you're like, geez, these guys were talented. Not negating Will Ferrell, and I'm not negating anybody else who's out right now, but I just feel like Danny Kaye especially, holy crap, what a powerhouse of a talent that was. Elf is also great, yeah. Hi Jerry, how are you? Long time no see. Elf is okay. You know, I found a great meme the other day that was it was Will Ferrell saying, "I'm an elf." Well, actually, I'm a human, but I was raised by elves, And the picture below it is Aragorn going, bro, me too. Like, oh yeah. Cute. Okay, these guys go on that. My wife is touting Edward Scissorhands as a Christmas movie. It is. It takes place at Christmas. There's snow. There's kind of Christmassy vibes to it. I like that the dad is like staple gunning snow to the roof of the house because they're in California and there's no actual snow. That's fun. I love that movie so much. That was one of my best Halloween costumes was Edward Scissorhands. But of course I did he's wearing the white t-shirt with the suspenders because it was a lot harder to get the zipper suit right in the time that I had. It's like, well, I'll get a wig, paint my face, found some gloves, and literally bought a bunch of scissors and like duct taped them to my hands. And okay, where does this go? There's 4 of those. Oh, that goes in later. Okay. But it was a good costume. The best part was because I couldn't use my hands, I had to have everybody. I had to have all the girls feed me snacks at the party. It was kind of fun. They're like, "Oh, you poor thing." I'm like, "Yeah, can I have some snacks?" Okay, so let's start with this. Die Hard for my Christmas movie. Yeah. There's a Christmas movie that I'm really upset that I can't watch anymore because I really liked it, and it was The Ref with Dennis Leary and now I can't remember his name. Completely blocked him out of my mind. Kevin Spacey. And that was just, I'm so mad about Kevin Spacey because I really liked all the stuff he was in, and now I can't watch it, and I'm like, pfft. So The Ref was a good one. Oh, I didn't put a plate on that side. We also have no snow at the moment here, which is bumming me out. That's weird. I mean, no, I take it back. It's not. Because I know from living in Colorado, which is pretty close to you, geographically speaking, not having snow at this time of year is not uncommon. Like, we're in, and I apologize for the appropriation of the word, but we're in Indian summer right now. You get the snows in late September, early October, and then it's 80 degrees until January. And sometimes you get snow and sometimes you don't. I've been there. Oh, and that goes like that. We'd be happy to send it to you. You're in Minnesota, right, Mimi? I'm trying to remember all the Pokemon gifts. Yeah, I'm sure Minnesota's got snow. It's the natural location of all American hockey is Minnesota. Oh, you're moving to Texas. Are you, I know you've been in, the last time, and I don't want to, like, if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine, but I know you were in Sugar Land and Katy, like outside of Houston area. Is that where you were thinking of going? Or are you moving to Austin? Because that would be super cool. We could hang out. Go find Goldie and hang out. Katy area-ish? Okay, cool. I mean, Katy is just basically like a giant suburb. I know they'll get mad at you for saying that, but it's basically a suburb of Houston. Did I hear Hawaii got snow? Wow, that'd be cool. I know you can ski in Hawaii, so I mean, probably they have mountains. I enjoy not dying of thirst in the summers due to drought. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Was there another one on here, or did I? Okay, now this goes... Ugh, this is going to be a thing, isn't it? It goes in that spot. Do I have to move this forward? I do. Okay, and then that right there. Hawaii had blizzard warnings. Holy bejeebus. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of internal structures that are going to trip me up like the Nintendo did. So I'm really hoping I'm not missing too many steps, but I'm trying to get through this. Because it's been an hour and I'm not even through bag 1 yet. So maybe this won't be all done today. Maybe we'll do 2 bags now and 2 bags on Thursday. Okay, so that goes here. Yes, no? I'm loving the black and white cookie look of this right here. Oh, get off of there, you rubber band. Oh no, my wife just asked Alexa for holiday music. Well, you're going to be Whamageddoned in about 5 minutes. So, thanks for playing. I make a solemn vow right now not to play any Christmas music on my channel until, like, Christmas Eve. Mostly because I don't think I could get away with it. I don't think there's a Christmas channel. And I don't know if any of that music is, like, copyright. You would think that if stuff came out in the 70s or 50s that we might be past copyright date. But I don't want to chance it. I'm already pushing TikTok videos up to YouTube Shorts, and I think I'm going to get dinged for it because I think I've picked a few songs that are not okay to be on YouTube. Oh, so you guys who make videos, Scott, Kodiak, did you notice something? Have you noticed something interesting about the doing thumbnails? Am I the only one who saw that? Where it said you've exceeded the thumbnail count, custom thumbnail count. Wait 24 hours. Like, I hadn't done a custom thumbnail in like a week, and they're like, yeah, you've exceeded the limit. I'm like, by doing nothing, I exceeded the limit? What the deuce? Yeah, I'm sure there's like Muzak, holiday Muzak we could check. I mean, I can look at Pretzel and see if they've got anything. Let's see if there's anything like holiday. Chiptune, a lot of this is also locked, so if I wanted to get it, I might have to pay for a subscription. And I don't see anything off the top of my head, or right off the bat. So, yeah. I've even been pinged for using copyright-free stuff. Yeah, I made the mistake one time. So there's an artist I really like. His name's Lukash. Does chiptune music. And I really like his stuff. And so when I started streaming, I was like, oh, well, I'm going to need music to play along with this. And boy, they're really tweaking the angles on this a lot. This is going to be the engine. I can already tell. So I was like, I need some copyright-free music. And I was like, or I could ask the artist and get permission. But I realized that the artist can give me all the permission they want, and it doesn't change the algorithm, right? The algorithm doesn't know that I asked for permission. But I did, and I asked him, I was like, hey, I'm going to be doing some Lego streaming, and I'd really like to listen to your music while I do it. Do I have your permission to do that? And he's like, yeah, as long as you put credit on there. But the problem is, like, EDM or EMI or whatever owns a lot of his stuff. So I tried playing it. Of course, it gets, it's like it's muted in Germany or whatever. Okay, well, fine. Okay, I can't really tell where this goes. So we're gonna put it here. And hope that yeah, I think that's where it goes. Okay. That's as far as it goes down. We'll see. I only do some custom thumbnails. I used to do more, but it's a balance of time between better thumbnail. Currently, time is a premium. So do you sometimes just upload a video and just whatever it grabs as like the screenshot of, you know, X time? That's your thumbnail? Because I only do custom thumbnails. I have rarely put my face on a thumbnail. It's bad enough you have to look at my face while we're doing this, but I feel weird about doing custom thumbnails for some reason, or thumbnails with my face on them for some reason. Don't ask me why. It feels shilly, like shill-like, but I don't know. Not like anybody here shilling for anybody else, I'm sure. This is coming together pretty nicely. This is interesting. So something may be going on here because there's not only is it that being put on, but it's also clipping. Like there's no chance of that moving. So is it a look? Because this is still fairly internal. I mean, that makes it very secure, whatever that is. But I'm guessing it looks a certain way, and maybe there's something that hinges on here later that has to keep that in place so it's not as, it doesn't come apart. We shall see. It's to the point where I might start making my own music. Granted, I have a video in the works that's centered around music. Your thumbnails are great, but I feel like with me being in the video, the shot of me works. Yeah, I agree. And I could probably do like, I know Josh does this, Josh builds stuff, and Emmasaurus does this where they're like holding the set and they've got the white outline around them, and or they're, you know, they're standing in front of a store saying bought this here kind of thing, or my day shopping for Lego kind of thing, and that works. I could do the same thing, but sometimes when I'm doing a design of something, that there's no point of my face being in there if I'm just designing a set or a mock. So yeah, I guess it depends on what you're doing that day. Closing up this spot. Two tiles. All right, 2, 2, 1, and 2. Good. No face reveals for me. Well, you've got a great logo though, so you can get away with just doing your logo. There we go. Almost done with this bag. There's a lot of fiddly bits in this first part. Getting all these internals done. Do you have GIMP? GIMP works just as well as a Photoshop substitute. That's what I've been using forever because I wouldn't use Photoshop enough to buy it. But I mean, you know, GIMP works in layers and alpha channels, and it's got all the same tools. fiddly bits are the best. I did have, I made the fiddly bits around the fjords. Oh, that was your work. That's nice. Yeah. Canva? Okay, yeah. I think Canva's good because it's like, are you making a YouTube thumbnail? Done. Sizes it for you, all that stuff. You just plug in your assets and you're good to go. I know my media marketing team at work uses Canva a lot. I'd really like, every time I build a set like this, I'm just marveling at the design aspect of it, the engineering aspect of it. And one of these days, I don't want to like tour Billund, like, here's the vault where all the old sets are. It's like, that's great. I probably have a lot of those. I don't really want to see them again. But what I want to do is like sit with a designer for like a week, and just like watch what they do and go through their process of how it goes from idea to implementation and what steps they go through to get it to that point. What work they have to do to get it approved and all that kind of stuff. Because I think that'd be great. And also like the decisions they make to while they're designing. Like how everything gets built up. Do they use, do they sit there with a bucket full of pieces and just figure it all out, or is it all digital? That'd be awesome. Yeah, I like open source software. In fact, shareware and freeware, that's one of those things where if I were like super rich, like I hit the lottery. Whoa. Why do I have all these pieces? Oh, there's all these steps in here that I didn't see. No, those aren't steps that I missed. Okay, these I understand. This, maybe that. But these two, no way. Oh, bother. All right, so I'm gonna have to go back through. Sorry. Thought we'd be able to get to another bag, but now I'm really worried that I'm... Oh, well, it's all back here. When did I miss all that? Got those. Okay, well, two of these go back here. Cover that up. Two of them go here. Like that. I cannot believe I'm missing this many steps. Or this many pieces. I've been sitting on aspirations to become a set designer for the past 20 years or so. Yeah, you and me both, brother. I know exactly what that feels like. Like every time I see a new set or a new thing, I'm like, hey, I'd still like to be doing that. Aha. Okay, well, there's some of it. Found you. These two are already done. I'm just hoping this wasn't like an internal thing that I really hosed. saw a video with a designer 5 years ago that had a Winnie the Pooh storyboard. Tells you how. Yeah, I think I saw that one too. Oops. My phone sometimes I'm like, come on, dude. Just got a message from Beth and I'm just responding. And I tried to, and then the message disappeared. So, okay. Did I get everything around here? I did not. Oh, shoot. Yeah, that needs to be up a level. That's what I missed. Yep, perfect. Okay, found it. Phew. That could have gone really badly. That's actually not too bad. By the time you actually think of something, draw it out, put it to a computer program, have it run through all the processes of review, back and forth with designers and engineers and product floor people and all that kind of stuff. Okay. La 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 la. And that's the last of that. So this thing goes on like this. Where? Like that? Okay. Okay. Well, all right. This I'm a little worried about because I generally don't like seeing extra really big ones, Technic pins, but that's fine. All right, so 2 bags. Let's do 2 bags today. It may have said, I may have said 4 numbered bags, but each numbered bag comes with like 3 bags, which doesn't make any sense. Make it 6 bags and, you know, why do I have the feeling that the microfighter for the Razor Crest did not take 2 years? I'll bet you that it didn't. I mean, it may have because the show's been out for a while. The ship itself's been destroyed. So there's no real reason for them to do one other than it was kind of a popular ship. But if it took them 2 years to do this, and this is what we end up with, like, I don't know who said it earlier, but somebody needs to get fired. Because that was kind of, ugh, it's just so bad. When it could be done, like 5 or 6 people have showed it could be done. There's no reason for it to be so schlocky. It's just, yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of the dream, is to like be a designer, work in that process. I don't know about the entirety of coming up with designs, because I think coming up with the ideas is probably not an individual person's purview. They probably have staff and review boards and stuff where they're like, okay, well, this is, you know, it's come down from on high that we need to come up with a this line. Okay, well, let's do that. And then within each line, they're like, all right, we need 5 sets per quarter. And so everybody comes up to design, you know, something. And they probably have teams that are like, all right, you're in charge of this size of set. You're in charge of this size of set. And they have groups that do each. And so, but I'd love to know what that process is. I'd love like an all access tour of the design area. I think that'd be fun. See ya, Brad. Thanks for coming by, man. Enjoy your lunch. Nice silvery connectors. We're still working on the internal fiddly bits, as it were. And we've got a lot more of this metallic stuff here. So we've got, nice. We got 1x1s and cones, and then we've got some of these pipes. 1L lift arms. Is that what these are? 1L lift arms? I just call them pin connectors. But yeah, 1L lift arms. That's hilarious. You just pull my chain, right? That's what Bricklink calls them? Wow. That's kind of dumb. That's like calling this, where is it? This is a 1x1 jumper plate. Or this, 1x1 jumper plate. I actually asked for one of those the other day. I was designing something and I got really befuddled about what I was thinking. I was like, I need a 1x1 jumper plate. And somebody went, a 1x1 jumper plate? I'm like, yeah. Like, oh, okay, well, that's not a thing. You big idiot. I thought they were just pin connectors. Like if you put in 10 Technic pin connector. I'm going off like what is in Studio, so it may be, I'm sure it's similar to Bricklink because it's the same database, but oh, that just feels nice. All right, and that goes on the front. I guess, no, this is the back now. So here's the tailpipes. So this goes here. Go next to it. Just a little off. I like how in the instructions this thing's just not hanging. It's like, nope, straight out, just like that. All right, repeat for the other side. Yeah, we'll go past 11:30, maybe even go past noon, but we'll get this second bag done. How's that? Oh. As long as I keep from dropping stuff. So what's everybody's plans for today? Hanging back, watching football, watching a movie, doing Lego stuff, doing any cooking, any prep cooking for holidays like cookies or fudge. My mom and I used to have an understanding that I would do Christmas cards every year, and then in doing so, she would make fudge and send us fudge and cookies and stuff. And one year I was like, I don't have the time to do Christmas cards this year. And she's like, all right, well, no fudge. And I'm like, come on, really? And she's like, nope, that was the agreement. I'm like, really? Last couple of years, I'm just like, I don't even know like who's on my Christmas card list anymore. It's like people I don't ever see. Oh, sister's birthday. Nice. Tell her happy birthday. Tell her Ben says hi. Hope she has a good birthday. Yeah. It's actually the kid's stepmom's birthday is next week. Is it? Yeah. So we're going to go see Mexico versus Chile at the Austin FC Stadium, Q2, Wednesday. So that'll be fun. Yeah. My boss's birthday was recently too, like the day after Thanksgiving or something. I would hate to have a birthday around this time of year. I don't know how people do it. I mean, I guess you can't really change it, but I don't know how people deal with it. Let's just say that. My birthday's in June, which always feels like, as a kid, I think I've probably said this before, but as a kid, it felt like perfect maximum present usage, right? You have 6 months to beat the hell out of your presents and your toys and everything you got on your birthday, and then it's Christmas. So it's not like you get something on, if you got a toy for your birthday on December 10th, and then you got something for Christmas, it's basically the same time. So you have like a year until you get new stuff. And as a materialistic child, that was always important to me. You could do the Mark Wahlberg thing and say hi to your mother for me, huh? That's what I do to the kids. They're like, all right, Dad, I'll see you later. I'm like, all right, say hi to your mothers for me. And they're like, why do you gotta be weird? Because I'm your dad. You doing okay, huh? Your car running all right? Say hi to your mother for me. Kind of typical dad thing to go, how's your car running? Your job okay? You healthy? You feeling good? How are the pets? How's the wife? Everything good? Good. I'm out. I don't want to hear anymore. It was such a weird thing. Say hi to your mother for me. I don't remember what that was. Was it like an SNL thing or? So I don't think they're watching, but I got this was pretty funny. Robert, if you're watching, I say this with all due respect. There's a guy in my office who I ran into while I was at the office the other day. And granted, everybody's wearing a mask and we haven't been around in a year. And he did start like during the pandemic. But I remember like hanging out with him, unloading a truck when my company got a lot of PPE from distributors, and because we are a medical service organization, we helped distribute that to like county medical societies and hospitals and stuff like that. So there was a handful of us that showed up early on in the pandemic, and we unloaded trucks and had pallet jacks drive these pallets full of masks and gowns and stuff up to our parking garage where they just kind of sat. And this guy who was kind of newly hired was helping us. At least I think that was him. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was the same dude, same name. So anyway, like we would sit on the curb and like wait for the thing to be opened, and we'd be chatting and stuff. So I'm at the office last week, and I'm actually getting ready to leave, or I was going to the bathroom and I have my mask on. There's like 5 people in the building. He does that in half his movies. Hey, say hi to your mother for me. I do that all the time too. That's just so funny. So, and I'm in my Flogging Molly hoodie and jeans and, you know, my cons, and this guy comes around the corner. He's nice shirt and pants, and he's like, "Oh, hi." And I was like, "Hi." And he's like, I'm blank. You know, I don't want to say his name because I don't know if that he's okay with me doing that. And I'm like, "Hi." Full name. He said, "Hi, I'm Robert, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "Hi." Because I knew who he was. And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, hi." And he's like, I'm like, "Hi, I'm Ben." Because I'm like, you do remember me, don't you? He didn't. And I was like, dude, we like sat in the garage together for a while doing stuff. It's just really weird. And then so later, as I was leaving, he stopped. And he stopped me outside and was like, yeah, so talking to HR, and they said you were really into Lego, and my kids love Lego, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, cool. So I emailed him. I'm like, well, here's my channel. This is what I do. All right, see, that is nice. Okay, so there's that tailpipe there. And this has to go right here, but it's got this little cutout that you kind of have to do this. to get that in there. So you can get that piece on there. That's just so delightful, right? It's just such a neat, like they definitely built around that. Except this isn't, there we go. It's just really funny. So he emailed me back and said, yeah, we looked at your channel and it looks great. The kids like it. I'm like, sweet. Greg Dillion, how are you doing, Greg? Good to see you. Happy Sunday. Thank you for being here. Actually, I had a college friend who I haven't talked to really except for online, contact me, and he's like, hey, do you still do drawing? And I'm like, no, I really don't. Which is kind of how you know that you've lost track of somebody, because when you stop doing a thing that you're kind of known for, and then you do another thing that most people know you as, you're like, well, now you haven't been paying attention, so that's okay. But because if I was doing drawing, you would have seen it all over the place. I had to tell him, well, I'm kind of out of practice. I haven't really drawn anything a whole lot in the last few years. Where did I put it? Right here. Also, me not drawing or doing any art really upsets people. They get really bent out of shape about the fact that I don't draw a whole lot anymore. If I gave up doing Lego stuff, I don't think anyone would mind. Like, oh, I stopped collecting Lego, I stopped doing streaming, whatever. I don't think they'd care. But as soon as like I tell people, I'm like, I haven't drawn in a while, and they're like, what? I just don't want to, you know. I kind of feel like I lost the muse. Also, you can't tell me what to do. You're not my manager. You're not my supervisor. Oh yeah, this is a much more chill section. Y'all, I was this close to doing a TikTok duet, and I couldn't figure out how to use my headphone and with my big headphones and my mic, and I couldn't figure out how to use this because I had to log into the web page. Bye, Mimi. Thanks for being here. I'll see you on Pokemon, or I'll just stop by your streams too. See you online. And all right, there's another one of these out here somewhere. Bays. So I did it, and I thought I sounded great, and then I played it back, and all I could hear was me going, you know, it like in between the singing part. I'm like, oh God, that's terrible. So I'm like, do I not have enough control over my breathing? That's just awful. Did I not do that right? Wasn't I supposed to put both of them on there? Yeah, ×2. So where's the other one? Oh, you know what? I have a feeling. Ooh, that I used the piece in the wrong spot. Wrong spot. Luckily, I think I'm going to take this apart pretty easily. Yep. Totally did. Don't all come apart. Just this little bit. Just this. Come on. Come on. Oh, well, fine. So that goes there. Yeah, get some digital chiptune. Okay, cool. Now I forgot what I was talking about. Mimi said goodbye. There was some other stuff going on. Yeah. Well, that happened. Oh, yeah. So I wanted to post it because like the singing sounded okay, but it was just like I was prank calling somebody and like, hey, you know, Bridge Over Troubled Waters. It's terrible. Terrible. What? That's another design choice. Instead of just putting a regular old, because this is on the inside, you're not going to see this at all. Instead of just putting a, where is it? Where can I point to it? That little white piece right there. Instead of putting just a regular plate right there, they're putting a white round hollow stud plate in there. I don't know why. That's the kind of stuff I'm like, why did you do that? I want to know. Everybody hydrate. So I can't decide if after this I'm going to go do holiday decorations, which I probably should. Or we found a giant piece of wood that the city was cutting down outside of a parking lot, and it was a tree that they had felled, and there's a lot of branches and trunks bits left over, and so we grabbed a couple so I could chainsaw them into discs, and then we're going to use those discs as like centerpieces at the wedding. So I have a chainsaw. It's a pole chainsaw, but it's, you know, the blade's like that. So I can go back there and just cut a bunch of those. And I think that would be really fun, but I've got time to do that versus the time-sensitive thing of getting holiday decorations up, which I feel like I don't really want to right now because it's kind of warm and muggy outside. Okay. Ooh, scared me. Hiya. So I do it again. Versus spending the rest of the day just like playing video games. I mean, I don't have to do anything, but it also means that if I don't do it today, then I feel like I'll be cramming the rest of the week, and I have to work on getting. Oh, by the way, tickets are live for Brick Rodeo. I should have led with that when there were people actually in the stream. I need to start adding that to my descriptions too. Brick Rodeo tickets are now available. If you want to visit, and I should have said this to Mimi when she was on with us, because if she's going to be in Texas, it will be in Austin. So if you need an excuse to visit Austin in June or July, which why would you? It's going to be warm and muggy, but we have air conditioning. We have insides. Then June 30th through July 3rd here in Austin will be Brick Rodeo. I don't want to say sponsored by anybody because it's just kind of, it's Brick Rodeo, brought to you by Brick Rodeo. Was this? I don't use another piece around here. There should be another black one, but all I have is these 3 white ones. Unless it's somewhere else. Tickets are on sale. Oh, there it is, way over here for some reason. They, it's the all access, excuse me, all access passes, and companion passes, and what a weird construction. Just day of event passes. Like if you just want to go for the public exhibition, you can do that. So it breaks up into 2 kind of areas. One is the public days, which are just Saturday and Sunday, which you just show up. Oh man. You just show up and walk around and look at the mocks. There really isn't a whole lot of speaking things or workshops for the public. It's just kind of like come and hang out and look at stuff. And there's also vendors that you can buy sets and buy shirts and stuff like that. The all day or the all access passes for all 4 days, Thursday through Sunday. So it's like Thursday afternoon through Sunday. That is the one that you can show up and you can bring a mock if you've built something. You can register it and bring it and display it. And then also there will be events, workshops, speakers, after hours events, like they have a raffle, they have an auction. So if you go to brickrodeo.com, that's where it is. That'll have a listing of location, dates and times. We don't have a listing of events yet because the events have not been finalized. We also don't have a list of sponsors yet or vendors because that's my job and I haven't done it yet. I'm guessing that we'll have kind of a similar amount of vendors and stuff we did from last year. Or at the very least the year before when it was still in Austin, because last year it was in Houston. That's interesting for them to do, put a plate, stick a plate in there like that. Very cool. So yeah, so that's going on. So I'm going to be doing, if you want to follow Brick Rodeo on Instagram, Twitter, we have a Facebook group. I will be doing all the social media updates for that. I also have to get out a MailChimp email that's got stuff in it. I just have to sit down and do it. So look for that over the next 6 months or so. Early bird pricing is now in effect. So an all access pass for all 4 days is $70. And after December 31st, where is this other piece? After December 31st, it goes up to $90. Now it sounds like a lot, but we figured out that last year when we did this, we were completely undercharging. And other conventions, Brick World Chicago, Emerald City Brick Fair, all those other things, they were charging about $90 or $100 for the 4-day pass thing. There's also a link on the site for the hotel, where we have a block of rooms. We have a discounted rate at the hotel, so if you want to stay in town, you can find the information there. I'm just not finding these pieces. That's going to be a problem later. Yeah, this is really stalling out my enjoyment of this one. I can't see where the piece is. I'm going to have to null this whole thing just to find this one piece. think some of these other pieces kind of look like it. I'm just not. It's frustrating. It's good to see more of these. I really like these. These like quarter slopes, quarter round brick slopes. Can anyone see it from the camera? Can anyone see this piece that I'm looking for? It's a lift arm, but it's a thin lift arm. I hate. Did it get pushed under something? I hope it didn't end up in a bag. Oh, well, one did. That sucks. Glad I looked. I would have been mad about that, too. All right, I'm just going to go grab a piece because I don't know. It's just frustrating AF that I can't see this piece, even if it's out here. So, hang tight. Speaking of 70s, or 007, what are your thoughts on the movies? Ugh. Lights are in the way. Yeah, I can't tell if I'm actually missing this piece, but it is not out here. I do not see this anywhere. So, use one of my own, dang it. Yeah, bag check, and I'm glad I did because there was one of these still in there, but I didn't see the other piece, so oh well. So on the topic is 007, thoughts on the movies. I've always liked watching James Bond movies, but you go in thinking it's going to just be a James Bond movie, right? There's no ever revelation. There's no twist usually, and if there is, it's kind of like a betrayal twist, which you're kind of like, oh, I didn't see that coming. That guy's a double agent, which you're like, that's kind of built into the mythos of 007 is somebody's going to betray somebody. Sometimes you get good action sequences that are like, wow, that was really cool. Nobody's done a stunt like that before. So that was cool. There always seems to be a bit about the casting ahead of time. Oh, this person's in it, or this is the new Bond, or something like that. So I feel like there's limited expectation from Bond movies because there's so many of them. They've been out for so long, and it's a spy movie, right? It's just an action spy movie. I think a lot of the spy craft over the years has been taken out, and it's become more of just an action movie. Like, I think what James Bond kind of lacked for a hot second was picked up by the Mission Impossible movies. In that they tried to do a bit more spy crafty stuff. Which I felt like it was a lot of fun. I do feel like going back and watching old Bond movies is a little problematic because it's very much, you know, I mean, his character is just a womanizing special agent with an alcohol problem. Let's see, what else am I missing? Oh, a ton of those. Okay. 12. I think Daniel Craig has been doing a good job. Like, he's a pretty good Bond. I don't know if I understand the backlash of when people were talking about there being a new Bond. It has to be a guy. I get it. The character's name is James Bond. But you could also say the character's name is 007, right? 007 is an agent. It doesn't really matter if it's a guy or a girl. But because it's James Bond 007, kind of has to be James Bond. That said, you could have other spies in that area called, there's always a 005 or 006. There's always a 00 something. But I've always liked James Bond movies. They're kind of what they are. I think some movies like True Lies, or like the one I was just talking about, Mission Impossible, kind of do a better Bond than Bond does. I think at one point we all thought the Bourne Identity was a better Bond movie than the Bond movies, but I think Bourne Identity was a little... I can't tell. Is this dark? Yeah, okay. It's a job title, not a name. Exactly. Dread Pirate Roberts. Like his name probably wasn't James Bond, right? He joined MI6, the SIS, and then they gave him the name James Bond. His name was probably like Rupert Nye or something. First sticker. Oh, and this is a tracking map software thing. This is going to be a readout in the car. Make sure I do this right. Green lights go on top. Have you ever thought of piracy? You'd make a wonderful Dread Pirate Roberts. Ah, whoops. Sorry. Thump, thump, thump. Also want to apologize for anybody who's a listener of our podcast that we have not put out an episode of the podcast. Beth has been very busy and I can't get her to kind of settle down and record anything. So we're probably going to be not doing a podcast for at least a little bit. And it's her idea and she really wanted to do it. So I'm kind of like, I'm letting you decide. If you want to do it, great. If not, tell me, because we're paying $20 a month for hosting. And if we're not going to do it anymore, just tell me so I can cancel it. Because otherwise we're just throwing money away for nothing. Much like a gym membership or something, but... Tuesday in it. Preach. I feel like there should be something in there. Oh, okay. Well, there's a clip still. This is cool. Because this is going to be like... you can see that in there or not. Radiator. Whoop. Spy stuff. Whoop. It's going to be fun. Right. So that's that. All right, let's do... I really like that they're using these fence pieces as like snot build pieces. It's so oddly satisfying and it fits the math really well on a couple things. Cool. All right. Love it. Love it. I know there's that piece. Oh, there it is. Okay. Where are we? 11:54. Oh, I'll just keep working until this is done then. So this is the piece I was telling you about early on with the AT-AT thing. Like, that's the slit. You can barely see it in there. And the idea is that, well, I don't have another pin to show you, but you put a long pin all the way in there, and then to get it out, you have to stick something in there and kind of wiggle it till you can get enough grip on it. And they're like, but it'll ruin those pieces. And I'm like, these are Technic pieces. Nobody ever cares about ruining a Technic piece. Oh, and it's a British car, so of course the steering's on the right. Monkey. Get in there. Okay, cool. Steering column. Oh, speaking of British stuff, I knocked something down. No, not speaking of British stuff, I knocked something down. Speaking of British stuff, we tried watching Fleabag. That was another thing we started. Heard all this great stuff about it. It's a great show. It's wonderful. It's unique. It's irreverent. And I'm like, sweet, we should give it a shot. Man, I have no idea what to think about this dang show. Nobody in it is redeeming, like, at all. Like, everybody's terrible. I think there's like one character in it who's like her sister, who's the only person I'm like, yeah, that's the only person I care about in this whole show. And it's one of these shows where everyone who you tell that you're watching it, they're like, you gotta go all the way to the end. You gotta give it the whole. And I'm like, okay, I get that it's a British show and it's not very long, but at the same time, I'm like, this better have a payout because I hate everything about this show. Like, the main character is kind of unlikable, but I think that's the point. She's a terrible person. Anyway, so if anybody's watched that, let me know what you thought. Oh, this is a chair. I was like, this, excuse me, building technique is very familiar. Because it's a reclining chair. There's a great YouTube channel that I've started watching called Across the Pond. And it's this guy's, journey from moving from London to, I think, somewhere in Michigan or something. And the differences between the US and the UK. He kind of says it as like, these are all the memos that got lost between the two countries. And they got lost in the pond. I slid right off Seinfeld. Seinfeld 2 was like, if you didn't watch it when it came out, it's hard to go back and watch. Seinfeld was kind of a zeitgeist, despite the fact that it was a show about nothing, which is the joke. So ostensibly you could put it in any time period because it's just about kind of the same, like, nothing events that happen in everyday life. But goodness gracious, that's just, okay. This is the smallest sticker I've ever seen. I don't even know how I'm supposed to apply this. So this is the Aston Martin symbol. Look how small that is. I've seen equally small stickers. I shouldn't say that's the smallest I've ever seen. That's the DB5. Yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, Seinfeld was very much, it hit at a really good time. Because everything else kind of felt like there was a purpose. There was a family. There was always kind of like interpersonal conflict. There was a message to be learned. There was a lesson. There was something. And then Seinfeld came out and it was just like, no, I mean, this is just... There's plots. There's A plots and B plots in each show. Like somebody's doing something else. But it's always like nothing stuff. I'm going over to a friend's house. I'm going to work. This is a thing that happened at work, you know. We're just sitting here talking about stuff. We're going to the baseball game. Somebody didn't do a thing that I expected. I broke up with a person for a weird reason. You know, it's just like weird little stuff. And they even made fun of it in the show because Jerry and George get a deal with NBC to write a show based off their life, which is kind of meta because the show itself is based off Jerry and Larry David's life, which is about nothing, right? So their pitch is like, well, the execs are like, we don't understand. What's the show about? And they're like, what did you do today? I did this and this and this. That's a show kind of thing. Again, the four main characters, not great people. They're kind of selfish and self-absorbed, and they aren't great to their friends or their roommates or their fellow New Yorkers. So, which comes to fruition at the end when they are kind of put on trial by this small town in upstate New York and put in jail. Spoilers for a 20-year-old show. I thought it was hilarious because there was a lot of just kind of nonsense bits that were really funny, and I liked it. Glad to know the B movie wasn't the only joke production Jerry Seinfeld had. His comics in cars drinking coffee or whatever is a good idea too. I've kind of... I feel like old Jerry Seinfeld, and I say this as a absolute nobody, but I feel like old famous Jerry Seinfeld is way too into how much he knows he's famous. And he's going back and he's doing stand-up again, which is fine. But his stand-up is kind of like the same stuff he did before, but with this air of, I don't care and I don't have to be here. Right? I do this because I like doing it. Great. But also, do you guys realize how famous I am? That's kind of a bummer. Because his early stuff was very funny. It also was very new and very, very appropriated after the fact. Everybody did observational humor after that. Everybody did the... What's the deal with airplane food, you know? I don't like it. Take it away. So there's that. But yeah, back to Fleabag. I was hoping, because it was a fourth wall breaking thing too, which I was kind of into. I was really excited for she talks to the audience, and I was kind of hoping it was going to be... it turn into one of these things where the audience becomes more than just, and it might, I haven't watched the whole thing, so it might, where the fourth wall, the audience becomes more of an important character than just, hey, this is a funny thing to do as aside to the Greek chorus kind of thing. So we'll see. I know Beth is really liking it, so we'll probably end up watching more of it. Oh. That needed to go on here. Huh. Was there another? That needed to go on here a long time ago. Whoopsie. This is cool because it's kind of a handle. Kind of moves so you can open and close the door. You kind of half watched it. Yeah, okay. Well, fair enough. Somebody said that you really need to give it a full go. What is it clipping? Oh, dang it. I didn't see that at all. Oh, so have we talked about Cowboy Bebop yet? Because I finished that too. I don't remember if anyone has... Oh, it's a secret compartment phone. Call the Kremlin. I don't remember if we talked about that since the last time I streamed, but so there's a slew of things that are out right now that are just not pleasing people. Wheel of Time, Cowboy Bebop, Foundation. I know that what's the show? The Amazon Prime, Saved from Sci-Fi. There's a lot of books. The Expanse. I know The Expanse is like not upsetting people, but they're like, this didn't happen in books, and I can't believe this is what they're doing, and that kind of mentality. Oh man, just so fun. Look at that door. Look at that door hinge. Can you see that? So nice. Oh. Okay. Oh. And of course, dang it, just a step. That's a dang it. Where are my hockey fans? That's a dang it. Steve's dang it's. I think that's also why I slid off The Office. Oh, I hate The Office. Purposefully unlikable characters just don't interest me as a writer. Yeah. Which is why I liked Schitt's Creek so much, because everyone was like, no, they are unlikable, but you really have to give it a shot. Because unlike The Office, where nobody changes over the course of 9 years or whatever, Schitt's Creek is very much, these are terrible people, but they get better. They have a growth. They have an arc. You can see them changing and working on themselves. And it's very nice. Or Ted Lasso is the same way, where they're not unlikable people, but it's just kind of nice to have a show where you're not worried about who's going to get shot or who's going to die or who's going to screw who over kind of thing. It's just like, no, we're just watching a show. And they actually run into problems, like their characters break down a bit and they have to be rebuilt. It's just very, very pleasant. Which is kind of what I'm hoping for with Fleabag, because this came out a little while ago, and I feel like it hit at the same time as all these other character rebuilding shows. And I'm just waiting for that moment. I'm like, this hasn't, like, I sense nothing from this character in terms of, oh, found it. That they need to grow or anything. And I don't like The Office either, but I have a different reason for not liking The Office. I don't like The Office because it's uncomfortable humor that I haven't really ever learned to lean into. Like there being an awkward uncomfortableness or a situation that's awkward is just not pleasing. That's not appealing to me at all. Like, oh God, somebody did something and it's going to end bad for them because they didn't act like a normal human and say the thing that would have helped save the situation. They just kind of let it go, and now it's a problem, and then they have to deal with it. And it's not funny. It's just uncomfortable, and I don't like that. Some people really, really like that. And those people are sociopaths. A kid. You can't dog on a show too much when it's like one of the number one shows of all time. British and American. Oh God, what did I miss? Oh. Yeah, I've met, like, not heads of state, but I dated a girl from Louisiana, and we went out to visit her family a lot, and their family was kind of a big deal in this little town. Her dad was a district judge or something like that, and so we would occasionally go to like Christmas things or holiday things, and like the mayor would be there, right? And granted, it's a small town. Like the mayor in the little town I live in north of Austin is probably just another dude like me, you know, but with some years of like city council experience or whatever. But I met this guy, and I don't even remember his name, but I'm like, we left, and I just remember because I introduced myself. They're like, "Oh, this is so-and-so, the mayor of whatever," and I could just tell talking to him like there is nobody home. There's nothing up there. And I rarely run into that with people. Oh, that's a 6. Okay. But this was just so blatantly awful because it's like you are in charge of this little town. Not in charge, but you know, you're the mayor of this little town, and like you're an idiot. You're an idiot. And it just didn't make me feel good for the people who live there anymore. I was like, oh my God, you poor people. But that is also distressing. You're right. To find people who are not completely competent, but they are in power. Yeah, Michael Scott is not a redeeming character. And I feel like that's a whole issue with a lot of, not what's wrong with America, maybe, but kind of like what's wrong with America is like this celebratory ignorance, this willful ignorance that's like, look how dumb we are, isn't it funny? And okay, I don't need to know that, and I don't, you know, I won't look that up. So yeah, it's exactly right. Charisma versus qualifications, and I've fallen into the trap of being a liberal who watches The West Wing. I was reading a thing about that. Nice doors going on there. Your doors are done. So I watched The West Wing, and I just got done doing my run through, because I'll watch it every couple of years. I'll put it on and run through it. And I fall into the trap of thinking that because the writer is a smart person, in this case Aaron Sorkin, the writer is a smart person, that the characters are smart people. And because I look at it with the eyes of somebody who wants to be political and active in my community politics, that there are smart people at high levels of government. Which there are and there aren't. You know, there are some people who are very highly intelligent, but they're also intelligent in the way Machiavelli was intelligent. You know, they are scheming, and they know how to get what they want. It doesn't mean they're smart per se. It just means they know how to get what they want. So it's kind of a backwards way of looking at a show that you really like. Did I do that right? Yeah. And I didn't watch it for a long time because I felt like we were in the middle of 45's presidency, and I was like, I wanted to watch it again, but I was like, I don't want to be depressed. I'm not really showing this off very well. I apologize. All right, we're almost done for today. Just realizing what kind of build this is going to be this Thursday. I'm going to be up till 10:30. Although a lot of the Technic stuff is done, so it may go a little faster. There's that one clip that I was worried about. Fantastic. And then that times 2. I should text my daughter and see if she wants to come over and help with decorations. I was told that she probably wouldn't, but if she wanted to come over and chat about stuff. I love getting log pieces, these different color log pieces, black and whatever. They make great greebling pieces for small starships. Quick way to do an engine block. I heard your comment, or I read your comment, Scott. I have no reaction. I'm sorry. I was trying to think of something. I'm like, I'm sure they were good. That's also like kind of any show. Like Lost was really good, and then it was found out that it was pretty much going nowhere. So people were like, ugh, this show. Obviously, the writers and creators don't know what they're doing. Oh, do the last seat. Uh-oh. Don't know what that is. Oh no, this is the boot. Because I think the engine's in the back. I don't know where the engine is, really. In an Aston Martin. It's a British car, so is that the same as a German car? Is the engine in the back? Take it easy, Scott. Thanks for being here. Good luck with your build. We'll see you in the next video. I'll be back Thursday. Hopefully. Don't think anything's going on. Oh. Yeah, so I totally missed. Oh, this is going to be fun. What did I miss? Alright, so I missed this somewhere. Okay, that goes here. Along with this. That I understand. All these ones I understand. But wow, where did these get left off? I would have noticed that. Goodness gracious. Alright, well, let's go back through. Oh, that's a wicked fit right there. It's 2 clips. There's a clip down in there and a clip right up here, so you can get that angled. Goodness gracious. Toaster, you're here just in time for me to go back through and find out what these 2 pieces are for. So, got a lot of ones left over this time. A whole lot of them. But I'm also... These 2 are left over. So... I'm going to go back through real quick and see if I can find where, and then we'll be done. May have to dig through and find out. Okay, so this is one bag. Let's see if we can get back to the bag beginning. That's not it. Is it? goodness. No, this is much later than this. What you been up to this last hour or so, Toaster? Okay, bag 2. No, no. Just checking blue squares. That's a big thing. That's a big thing. I worry that there's some steps that don't have these blue squares in them, so I'm gonna these call out bits. That's one whole door. Did I miss it? Coming up on the end here. Oh yeah, right there. Oh, where is that? Oh man, all right. Yeah, totally missed that. Okay, how's that gonna work? Oh, okay. That's unfortunate. So this goes back in like this, and then that, and then that, and then that. Okay, that's not too bad. Love how it's coming out though. Yeah, it's gonna be nice. So this is where we're gonna end up. So you can see we don't have a seat built, the second seat yet, because it's gonna be an ejector seat. So it's gonna have, I'm sure, this is gonna do something up in the front. The ejector seat's right here. I think this is gonna have something, I don't know what that is yet. Okay, so that's something. I have a feeling this is going to be the ejector seat. It's going to like hold on to here, right on that post, and rip it up, kind of. This does something. The gear shift does something up in the front there. Pushes out maybe machine guns. And you've got your hidden spy. Oh, why doesn't that turn? So it's just, it's an AC vent. You can see the AC vent. No, it's a spy thing. Okay. The doors are nice and smooth. I like from a distance that it looks kind of nice. Up close, it's got a lot of panels where all the bricks were, so they're kind of hoping you don't look too close. There's a bit of a seam in between the door and the rest of the body. I don't think that's something that can be helped. A lot of the newer stuff, the hinge is really great right there. A lot of the newer stuff, like the VW bus, will have it so it kind of settles in a little bit. Like it's not a perfect swinging fit. It'll just kind of like almost just kind of lay in there, right? So I think they probably fixed that with newer things. That handle is right on top of that chair. That's pretty cramped. Yeah, so there we are. That's gonna be fun. So thanks for being here, everybody. Have a good rest of your Sunday, and I will be back on Thursday. How wildly dangerous ejector seats are, exactly. Keep looking out for the daily advent calendar nonsense. Hey, did you see what today's advent calendar was? Speaking of, this thing times 4. This is supposed to be like a Mandalorian heavy advent calendar, and it's just terrible. Like The Razor Crest is actually pretty good. We got a Stormtrooper that's not anything. It's just a Stormtrooper. Like, you would have thought, given the Stormtroopers how they looked in The Mandalorian, you would have dirtied them up a little bit, right? They look old. They look scratched. We could have got like a cool Stormtrooper that was a little scuffed or aged or something, or with an ugly sweater on. This is nothing. And now we got targets for something that a Sand Person's going to shoot at later, a Tusken Raider's going to shoot at later. I'm a little disappointed in this so far, so we'll see. Anyway. All right, everybody. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you later this week. Bye.